Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I've said this before. Doing this channel is helping me be a better fisherman. Well, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about your fishing reel. And there's something that I know I haven't been doing that I need to do, and we're going to bring that up. We'll see how many of you are doing the right thing to take your reel and make it as effective as possible when you're out on the water. Stick around, everybody. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher, and today we're going to be talking about your fishing reel and specifically the drag system on your fishing reel. Now, here's the thing that I have not been doing. I get done fishing at the end of a day, and I take my rod sleeve, I put my rod in the rod sleeve, I take my rod and reel, I put it in the rod locker of my boat, and I'm done. What I'm not doing at the end of every fishing day is taking my drag and loosening my drag so that my line comes out freely on off of my reel. Instead, I'm leaving that drag setting all the way cranked down. And so that same drag setting that I have when I'm fishing is the way my reel sits all night. And to be honest, at the end of my fishing season, my rods and reels get put up on the wall and they stay like that with that drag system reel tightened down. The reality is, after every use, you should back off your drag so that it's loose and so that you're taking tension off of that spring. Now, here's the thing. I've done a lot of research on this. I've questioned whether or not does keeping pressure on a spring actually weaken that? And the answer is yes. Take a look. So by keeping your drag tightened, you're actually reducing the effectiveness and weakening the strength of that spring in your drag system. But here's the other part of this that I want to pay attention to, because it isn't just the spring is pushing the washers that are compressing together and actually creating that drag on your spool. The spring, you tighten the star wheel, it condenses the spring and it pushes washers together that create two where there's no movement allowed. That's the drag. And as you back it off, they're able to slip. Well, when you tighten that down, those washers are set in place. Now, if you set those in place and you never move them, they're always there. That they're and anywhere they're connected, you would say, okay, they're wearing in that one particular spot. Now, what you're doing by on a daily basis after every fishing time, if you loosen that and then you pull that drag and you let that come out, what you're doing is you're moving where those washers were rubbing against each other. Today they were here, tomorrow they're here, and so on. So you're wearing those washers evenly also. I think the reality is you're actually doing the best for your reel by reducing your drag, because not only are you taking the pressure off the spring, but you're wearing those drag washers at different places each time, rather than having them set at one place and having them be there for months at a time and things like that. So the reality is, the practice that we're talking about is after every fishing trip, guys, you've set your drag, you fish, now you want to back the drag off and loosen that up. And then obviously you want to make sure that the next day when you go out to fish, before you make that first cast, You go back and tighten up that drag for the type of fishing that you're looking at doing. Obviously, sometimes you want to tighten that drag down an awful lot. Other times you want to have it set just kind of medium, whatever your drag requirements are for the type of fishing that you're doing. But I can tell you that I'm going to get into a habit of letting loose on the drag after each fishing day to see if I don't get better longevity out of my reels. Guys, I hope this helps you. I'd love to hear your opinions on that. Do you do this? Do you think it makes a difference? I'd love to hear your opinions on it. Send me your comments. Guys, I'd also appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button, because to be honest, when we're giving out tips like this, we're trying to help everybody be better fishermen here. And it's great if you get this and this tip benefits you. But the reality is, if you hit the thumbs up button, if you subscribe to the channel, if you send us your comments, those are the things that help the video gain traction in the YouTube world. And those are the things that really help us. So we'd really appreciate it if you do all of those. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up, send us your comments. Again, we say we'd appreciate it. We really would. And it means a lot to us that you guys are willing to do that for us. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow for another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.